Alrighty, I don't know why my file is not loading, but we're just going to bounce right into the discussion. Tonight I got Jesse Anderson. He's been on the channel a few times, talking about many things, including gaming, and has been a participant of the panel discussion We'll See for Work, which he will be joining us again this Friday at 7:05 p.m. So, Jesse, welcome to Theory of Blind Man.
Well, thanks a lot for having me back. It's been a little while, but hey, yeah.
Yeah, I want to give a shout out to. I can't remember which video you were talking about, but uh, anyway, you're talking about how you enjoyed the panel discussions and you want to get more into that kind of podcasting. So thank you for mentioning me on that channel. It was awesome.
Oh, yeah, yeah. It was one of the, I think it was one of my recent monthly update videos or something
Yeah.
like that. But yeah, I find I kind of like doing the whole podcasting thing. So
Hmm.
yeah, I mean, it was fun this summer.
Yeah, I like to be able to just talk and get what's on my mind out there. And I always say if we all share a little bit, we all get a lot. So that's kind of the big purpose of all this stuff being online, I think.
Absolutely.
Okay, so all the cameras are checked. But again, you don't have a camera, so it doesn't even matter. So you guys can just see me tonight. So, how's the VR world going for accessible gaming?
VR. Um, Accessibility wise, I would say it really, unfortunately, hasn't been moving forward all that much
Hmm.
lately. I know we talked about it quite a while. One of my first times I was on Theory of a Blind Man, but yeah, this year, like we've had the Oculus Quest 2, which is cool. I still have the original Quest, so I didn't bother getting the new one.
Mm.
There really hasn't been, to my knowledge, anything really like commercially happening as far as games or apps or even tools that can be, supplemented. Like I talked about the seeing VR thing, which I really, really want to become a thing.
Hmm.
Um, that being said, I do have hope because I did learn about, one advantage of like 2020 has just been super crazy, as
Yeah, it
all of us
has.
can attest. But there's been so many online like webinars and conferences and all kinds of things this year. And in, I want to say April or May ish, I was attending a virtual conference and they had a session from this group called XR Access.
Mm.
And I was intrigued. It was just kind of a brief overview and sort of the status of where things were and what this organization was doing. I looked into it a little bit further, shot the main account an email, and started talking with one of the people. And I did end up joining the organization and have been trying to help out some since probably what mid May or so. And XR Access is kind of this organization where it's people all throughout like the industry and advocates and professionals and developers and all kinds of people who are just kind of interested in making augmented and virtual reality more accessible.
Hmm.
And so one of the first things that I got to be a part of is they were planning this XR Access Symposium that took place in July. I can't remember what day it was now. I think like July 20th or something.
Hmm.
And yeah, I got to help plan that, and I got to co-host, co-facilitate one of the panels and everything, and had some good online discussions there. And they've kind of the last month or two, couple months, we've taken a little bit of a break because they're kind of restructuring how it works, and we're just kind of having I guess a sort of a new launch
Hmm.
in 2021, trying to make things, I don't want to necessarily say more formal, but kind of, so something that'll help it out, help people kind of
Recognize it's something
get
more
things off the ground a
professional.
little bit better. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Have you heard of
So
there's these two facilities I know of. One's in L.A. area and one's in the Austin, Texas area, and they're these giant warehouses, and you put on these full suits, and they react to your environment. So you've got VR on as well as AR, and so it's really like if you were to get hit by a bullet or something, you would feel
Right.
where you would get hit.
I know what you're talking about. I can't remember the name. I think there's a few different variations of them. Actually, I think. Oh, I can't remember. Is it something like the Zone or something? Or
Something like
no?
that, yeah.
They actually. I believe they had one. Not sure about after all this COVID stuff, but they
Yeah.
actually had a smaller version of that in the Mall of America.
Mm-hmm.
I know where we are, but yeah, I've heard of those different types of things. I think they had one in New York that I was really curious about too, because that one they had this total, just what you're talking about with like the VR, AR, and like the vest or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But then it was like this whole Ghostbusters experience where you're like running through and like blasting ghosts, and
Yeah.
that just sounded really cool.
Yeah. So I mean, that would be. I think that'd be really, really close to being, accessible for at least for low vision and blind people, because everything could be sensory input.
Yeah, I mean, I think the hardest part of that would be, again, just kind of like in real life. I mean, that's the one thing that I've learned about augmented and virtual reality is like you're not just looking at a flat screen anymore. So some of the restrictions or some of the difficulties that we might have in real life, we kind of have the same in those types of XR experiences because, how do we get around this environment? How do we
Mm-hmm.
find an object or if you're trying to fight an enemy or catch a ghost or something in 3D space, how do we
Yeah.
know where that is? You might be able to do that through haptics and audio and all kinds of stuff. But yeah, I love the potential.
We need holodecks, Star Trek holodecks.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome. Really quick, I want to say hi to, let me guess, Melissa's World in Darkness, Blind Toes, Jeanette Clark, welcome. I read on the chat, so I'm just saying hi to people. And I
Mhm.
did VR. Oh yeah, and Boogers Grow. Welcome back, Booger. So yeah, what's on the horizon as far as like your gaming projects? We will talk about the chicken thing too. That sounds funny.
Oh, yeah. Honestly, some of the gaming accessibility stuff this year, as messed up as 2020 has been overall, some of the game accessibility stuff has actually been some of the positive stuff for
Mm-hmm.
2020 and has honestly kept me sane. I mean, honestly, because there's just been like the world has just been like a dumpster fire in a lot of ways. But,
Yeah.
um, but yeah, I mean, just some of the things that we're seeing in game accessibility this year have been really cool to see. Really been a cool thing to be a part of. Um, my major accessibility uh, highlight would be The Last of Us Part 2 for PS4 and now PS5
Oh
because that
yeah.
just has so many accessibility features on this AAA game that's already, you know, really well designed and all that kind of stuff.
Have there been any other games that have come out to say like, "Hey, watch for our game next year"?
Um, well, and that's the thing is like I wouldn't say we're not there for totally blind accessibility just yet, but
Mm-hmm.
I see it happening. Like I see it happening in increments because the other thing is, yes, we've had The Last of Us 2, we've had some other games, but like there's been a lot of other like big open world AAA games that have had a pretty good amount of accessibility in them. So like your
Mm-hmm.
Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Watch Dogs Legion, um, Immortals Phoenix Rising. These are all Ubisoft open world games. They're huge.
Mm-hmm.
And again, navigation isn't there, so it would be really kind of difficult to get around the world if you were, if you didn't have enough vision to kind of see your way around.
Mm.
That being said, though, they do have some audio cues that you can kind of use to kind of help you out. And pretty much most of their interface, there's a few little quirks here and there, but in those three games especially, all of them have pretty much I would say 85 to 95% text to speech support. So you can
Oh,
open the game and you can go through the menus, you can look at the inventory, you can look at your skill trees, your the map. The maps definitely need some work still. There's a few other glitches here and there, but like the UI is largely pretty accessible.
mm,
And even as a low vision user, it really helps me quite a bit because then I can use my text to speech for all that and then use my vision for just playing the game. But
yeah.
I'm hoping within the next couple of years, as new projects get developed, I would not be surprised if we're going to see a another big, like an actual open world game in the next 2 to 3 years that a totally blind person could play. It would not surprise me.
It's gotta be GTA 5 because again, I keep going back to the mod that Ian made. Not Ian. Yeah, Ian made
Yeah, Liam,
Liam. That's right.
Liam.
And why can't GTA just like, hey, let me buy your scripting for that and
Well,
let us work with it?
I mean, I'm in theory, I totally agree with you, and I am totally in supporting that. It just, it really depends on the developer. Like Rockstar is one of those that really just seems to go their own way, do their own thing, not really
Yeah,
listen to anyone. And I don't know if they're really going to embrace that kind of a thing because you really need buy-in on a pretty big level to do that.
well, they sure have not embraced it at all so far.
No,
It's like
no.
they haven't even noticed it or
Well,
blind
exactly.
people.
And
What? Nah.
I mean, similarly, that's like the recent Cyberpunk 2077 release,
Oof,
which, yeah, that's a whole other
that was
issue in
disappointing.
itself. But yeah, I mean, I've played it on PC and it's been patched enough to where like it actually runs pretty decently on my machine now. But like, okay, this is a like futuristic open world game. Like
Mm-hmm.
you can augment your body. Like I literally in the beginning of the game, one of the first things they have you do, you get an eye augmentation so you can like hack things in the world around you.
Oh
Okay.
wow.
You get all these augmentations, but guess what it doesn't have? It doesn't have any in-world navigation system like your Saints Row games or Red Faction or even like Watch Dogs Legion.
Mm.
When you put a quest on your you mark a quest down that you want to follow, like your waypoint, you don't have to look at the mini map. You just look at these glowy arrows that are on the road and you just drive or walk or
Mm.
whatever. Um, and I just find it ironic that in this like futuristic open world game where it's all about like hacking your body and like all these cool weapons and augments that you don't like. I thought that was just going to be a given,
Yeah.
but it's not in there. You got to look at this tiny line on the mini map, which sucks.
Huh. That is. Yeah. I don't know. That is weird.
Yeah, and they really haven't learned too much about like when everyone complained about how small the text size it was in The Witcher 3.
Oh yeah.
They didn't even really do a whole lot with that. So
Mm.
yeah, I mean, I would love to see GTA, the next Grand Theft Auto, be more accessible, but I, yeah,
Probably not.
I just don't know if they're going to buy in. I mean, eventually they'll have to, I would think, if not for peer pressure, if nothing else, if everyone
Yeah.
starts doing
Really.
it.
Yeah.
But
Uh,
yeah, I mean, otherwise, there's been, a few other things. Like I said, we've had a lot of gaming events. There's new consoles that have come out. I don't have either one yet. I'm thinking about a PS5 just because I can play all the Microsoft stuff on Windows, and Sony has actually implemented a full screen reader on the PS5 compared to what it was on the PS4, which is awesome.
mm-hmm.
They did have an game accessibility award
Oh nice.
at the Game Awards show that Jeff Keighley puts on every year. They had a game accessibility award, and it was really cool just to see that represented on such a big stage.
Mm-hmm.
And I even got to be I was fortunate enough to be asked to be a kind of a jury panel member to judge that category.
Oh, that's
So
really cool.
that was really yeah, that was a pretty cool highlight. So
Awesome.
yeah, I mean, there's been a lot. There's been a lot of game accessibility stuff happening this year, and I think next year we'll even see more.
No doubt. Chat real quick. Austin, welcome. Leah, welcome. Austin says, Jess.
Yes.
Yeah, I caught that, Melissa. Hope you feel better. Oh, I guess he finished it. Jesse Anderson. Hi.
Ah.
Go. Jeanette bought her son Xbox for Christmas, saying that the accessibility is not so great.
Well, the console accessibility themselves on both machines, PS5 and Xbox Series, are pretty good. It's the main issue that we're having right now is that just because the dashboards have accessibility does not translate to the games automatically supporting it.
Right.
Because you have the whole game engine thing, Unreal and Unity and all those things. You know, I know they're working on both engines are working on native screen reader support so that hopefully maybe in the next few years maybe you will see more of that just for the engine, you know, having the engine support it natively, and more games will be able to directly tie into your console wide screen reader. And I'm hoping,
Yeah.
because after playing a few of these games, like I've played some of these Ubisoft games, I've played The Last of Us, and then I go back to all these other games that have like no accessibility features in them at all, no text to speech, no large fonts or anything. I'm like, oh, this sucks, man. Now I'm getting spoiled.
Right. Maybe you can answer this because I've never dealt with it. But Austin asks, what voices does Voice Stream Reader have for acapella TTS? I never heard of Voice Stream Reader, to be honest with you.
Voice Dream Reader. Oh, you have not used that. Oh, you are you Android or iOS?
iOS.
Oh, dude, if you don't have Voice Dream Reader, you so got to get on that.
What is it?
Well, I would recommend both Voice Dream Reader and Voice Dream Scanner.
Okay.
Voice Dream Reader is an app that will let you read. You can read Bookshare books with it. You can import a whole bunch of other file types from other services. Like you can pull in from Google Drive, iCloud, I think OneDrive, Dropbox. So you can read like PDF files, Word documents, Google Docs, all those types of things. And it's just a really, really good app. And then if you combine it with Voice Dream Scanner, it's a really you know, if you played with Seeing AI, it's sort of like that, but like you take a picture of a document, but then you can save it right into Voice Dream Reader with all of your other documents. And if you get a PDF file, let's say that, you know, you get those PDF files that you just can't read.
Yeah.
Just share it to Voice Dream Reader. And as long as Voice Dream Scanner is installed, when you open it up in Voice Dream Reader, it'll say, oh, hey, this document appears to be a picture. Do you want to OCR it? And you just say yes. And boom, sucks all the text out of it for you and makes it readable.
Wow.
So yeah, I've actually done beta testing for him in the past. So
nice.
Yeah, that app is, I've been using it for several years now and I love it. Acapella voices, I don't know. You'd have to go under the speech settings and just kind of browse for voices and see what they have. I know they do have quite a few acapella voices. I know they've got some Neo speech. They've got some, I think Ivona might be in there. But I mean, there is a good probably couple dozen voices that you can sample. And then if you like one, you can grab it for $1 or $2.
Oh, nice. That's cool.
Yeah. So if you like to read a lot of text files and stuff, like even I've pulled in a lot of like books that I've gotten from like Story Bundle or Humble Bundle, or even finding like, again, PDF files. I've got some virtual gaming magazines that I've been reading. All of that stuff I can just put into folders within the app, and it's just a really great reading tool.
That sounds interesting.
Yeah, I mean, if you do any amount of reading, I would say it's totally worth getting.
Okay.
I love that app. Well, both of them.
So the next thing we want to talk about, at least I did, I
Yeah,
saw a
go for it.
tweet the other day, and I, like you in the past, I thought it was a complete joke, and it was from a really good friend of mine, and then you just mentioned it, so it's got to be true, right? But the KFC console or KF console or whatever you want to call it. What? I was like, does it come with a bucket of chicken or what?
No, but okay. So
Can I take
here,
it through the drive-through and get a refill?
yeah, no, but it's just KFC has been just, they've been doing weird marketing the last several years. And it's been kind of fascinating just to see all the kind of weird stuff that they've been doing. I want to say around 2018 or so. I know it's been a couple years now, but like I remember coming back from Christmas from my parents, and I saw, speaking of VR, they had this, I don't remember the exact name of it. Um, but they had this free VR experience that I could play on the Rift, and it was basically the Colonel taking you through, like, kind of walking you through, like, oh, we're gonna this show you how to, welcome new employee, and we're gonna take you through this virtual reality thing of how to make the Colonel's recipe chicken. And it's like I don't know, 10-15 minute experience, but it was really kind of dumb but really funny, and surprisingly more polished than I thought it would be.
Hmm.
And they've just done all kinds of weird stuff since. And then I saw this. I've been seeing it pop up the last week or so, and I thought, I didn't know what bonus video to release for Christmas, so I had to cover it on my channel too. Yes, the KF console. So earlier this year, there was some tweet or something that I saw, and like you said, everyone thought it was a joke. But apparently, what this is, they call it a console, but it's essentially a smaller custom gaming PC. They partnered with Cooler Master. So if you're a PC builder or you're familiar with them, that is a well-known brand. But they apparently are coming out, not sure when, but they are coming out with this custom PC that is shaped. It's round. It's kind of shaped like a black bucket of chicken. And but the funny thing is, I was reading through like the specs that they've released for it so far. I mean, it's got two 1 terabyte NVMe drives.
Oh wow!
It's got it's going to have, they say, RTX support. So I don't know specifically if they're going to go the 2 or 3 series for RTX. But it's going to have a core. It's got this custom, like, kind of those those computer on a chip sort of things but it's got a Core i9 in it. Not sure how much RAM. And I forget what they call it. So the joke of it too is, okay, yes, it looks like a bucket of chicken, but then there's like some ventilation at the top, and there's almost like this sort of like compartment. I forget exactly what they call it. I'd have to go look it up real quick. But it uses the heat that your computer would generate, and they kind of say like, oh yeah, and in between rounds you can put your chicken there, and you can keep your chicken warm for between matches. Which I totally would not recommend anyone do. I mean, come on, all that grease and all of that stuff. Like I can't.
That's funny.
It can't be a good thing, right?
No.
I mean, come on. You're just asking for some sort of like grease fire. Let's see. I was looking at the website. World's first built-in chicken chamber.
That's
really dumb.
That's got to be the joke part of it, right? Come on.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's probably just they haven't make it look like it can, but yeah. So it's just like, oh yeah, we're gonna make the joke that of course your computer runs hot, but we're gonna actually make a practical use for it, which heat up, keep your chicken warm. But it's so bizarre that like you can't, like I thought this was going to be if they were going to do it, and when I
Mm-hmm.
started hearing that it was going to be real, I thought it was going to be this like a couple $100 like garbage bargain basement cheap thing, but like the specs that are announced so far are actually pretty solid. The only thing that really concerns me is this small form factor. Is it going to run cool enough? A small form factor and high end gaming parts like the graphics card.
Mm-hmm.
Are you going to run into some cooling issues?
Hmm.
But otherwise, it looks. I mean, it doesn't look ugly. It kind of looks just different. I mean, it looks
Yeah.
kind of neat, and like I kind of want one because it's really dumb.
What about the for a few years now, Atari's been trying to release something.
I haven't really kept up on that. That's kind of been more of a disaster. I think it might be coming out soon or just coming out in some capacity. I think it was like a Kickstarter project at one point.
It was, but then that got closed down for some reason or another, and they promised like 500 units to those backers. That never happened.
Yeah, I haven't followed it all because, like, from what I remember, like the cost for what they were wanting to charge for it was just a lot of money, and like, oh, we're basically gonna. I mean, basically, what these things are is they're, you can buy these small $200-300 computers. They're almost like Mac Mini size.
Mm-hmm.
I got one a couple of years ago. It was this. I can't even remember the name of it now, but it had some custom gaming stuff on there, and it was. I think I got it for like $170 or something like that. I don't even remember.
Mm-hmm.
But you hook it up to your TV, and it's basically a tiny footprint Windows PC that just has some like gaming and emulation stuff on there, and yeah.
Yeah, I think that was one thing they were talking about. It was like the Atari. I can't remember the name of it now. Like 552. I don't know, whatever. But anyway, they're like 100 original Atari games, 2,600 games you could play on it.
Yeah, and I mean honestly, if you get like a USB controller that's like an Atari controller, you can go to Steam right now and just go buy like the Atari. There's like I think there's at least one or two like Atari collections that has probably most of the things you're going to find on there, and you can probably get that for like $15-20.
Yeah. What's this? Austin's asking you, is the pizza, and it's a little off topic, but you can answer if you want. Is the Pizza Hut app accessible for the blind?
I do not know. I don't order Pizza Hut very often, and if I do, I usually just use the website.
Yeah.
So I have not tried the app personally. I don't mind it on a rare occasion, but I don't know. It used to be better. They changed the recipe, and it's not near as good as it used to be.
Yeah. Blind Toes asks, what? I'm guessing he's talking to you, Jesse. Are you going to play Whistler Mortal Kombat 11? When, I guess.
Oh, okay. I don't know. The only version of Mortal Kombat 11 I have is the PC version. I don't have it for any of the Xboxes or anything like that yet.
Mm.
And I'm guessing you have it for the console?
Yeah, I do.
Xbox or PS4?
PS4. It's been a while since I played it.
Yeah, I'm not a good fighting. Like I can do a few moves, a few combos, but I have like gamer ADD, and I play so many things that I can't just. I haven't really devoted a whole bunch of time to memorizing all the characters and combos and stuff like that, like a lot of the blind community has. I mean, I thought about when they did that Sento Showdown, I thought about, I could try to do that. And then I'm like, yeah, right. I would get I would just get massacred in the scrub league like the first round probably.
Yeah.
I would get it on like, no, let's just watch. Let's be supportive. And it was cool.
I'm really trying to find the damn map editor for Swamp because I've got all these sounds laid out for a Star Wars theme based Swamp game. Nobody has got the damn map editor.
I haven't found. I know. Every time I hear Swamp brought up, I think of you, and I know you were looking about. I know you were looking for that editor. I have not seen it. I need to sit down and try to think of like I want to start building a story and kind of a world for when that Sable game comes out.
Yes, that was my second.
Because I want to build my own. I want to build my own game through that, but like I said, my problem is I usually try to make things too grandeur and complicated, and then I'm like, there's no way in hell I'm gonna make this, and then I just basically give up. But yeah, I need to come up with like a simple story that I could try to create in that engine, so when it does come out, I can just start plugging things into it and hopefully try to build my own little game.
Melissa, I would check out LSNS or Maxiades to be quite frank. They'd be the cheapest route and quickest route for you. She's looking for an accessible talking thermometer. So.
Oh God. Actually, let me look. I just bought one of those on Amazon.
Oh, nice. There you go.
Let me tell you what it is called. I got to go look at my recent orders. Because one of our coworkers had posted it on our kind of group email, and I don't remember what it is called, but I will look it up and tell you here momentarily. It is called. God, I order way too much crap on Amazon.
Oh, tell me about it. Austin's asking you if you're gonna play a Hero's Call.
I did a video for it a long time ago. I never did finish it, but it was cool. But I don't know. I just never finished it.
I got an Xbox controller to play that game with it on the PC. It was actually pretty good. I really enjoyed it. I got a bunch of videos on that on my channel as well.
Okay, the thermometer that I saw that I ordered, and I haven't actually. Apparently it's supposed to work with your phone as well. You download the app. Yeah, you download the app, and it's supposed to work with VoiceOver. I have not actually hooked it up. I have not paired it or anything. It is called the Kinsa, Kinsa, Quick Care Smart Thermometer. And it's $25 essentially on Amazon, and it's small. Like the box, I haven't even taken out of the box yet, but I should do that here pretty soon just to look at it and see how it is. But yeah, I'm like, with all this COVID and flu and all this stuff going around, like it's probably not a bad idea for me to have something like that. Yeah, the Kinsa, Kinsa. I would just look that one up because it's supposed to work pretty good and it seems pretty cheap. Nice. It's a good price.
There you go, Melissa.
Pick it up on Amazon, and let's see. Does it even? I'm not sure if it. Oh, it even supports Prime if you have that. So yeah.
I'm going to slaughter this next name, so I apologize. I'm just
okay.
Going to repeat what my voiceover says. Kachua says hello. Finally get to catch one of your streams. Well, thank you for being here. I'm just gonna call you wait. Vika. Okay, I'll go with Vika. Blind Toes, thanks. I have an old phone and I use TalkBack. Says Melissa. Leah says Vera. So I have no idea who that person is, but thank you for being here. Looks like they all know each other. So that's good.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Jesse, says Melissa. This is a good resource, too, when we all get together. And I had no idea Amazon even had any kind of blind technology whatsoever, but I guess...
Oh, yeah. I mean, a lot of it... there's a lot of it you can get through third party resellers through
Yeah.
Amazon. I mean, uh, and they gave she gave me the original website for that, and I don't remember what it is, but I think it's just the Kinsa website. But then she's like, "Oh, you can also get it on Amazon." So I looked it up there, and I'm like, "Oh, yep," and it qualified for Prime. So I'm like, "Yeah, why not get it there? Same price, if not a couple dollars cheaper." So why not?
Where did it go? You had a question from Austin. I had to approve it for some reason.
Hmm.
Where did it go? Thank you so much. Um, oh, okay, here we go. Why? What? Okay, I don't know if you noticed this, but on YouTube, if you send chat messages with an iPhone, most of the time the messages get crammed together.
I
Actually, I don't
don't.
even know what this says.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't really do a lot of chat through YouTube. I do it on Twitch every once in a while, but I have not done a whole lot of chatting via YouTube. I don't think I've watched all that many live things on YouTube, to be honest. I watch a lot of YouTube, but it's usually pre recorded stuff.
Why, Jesse Anderson, why is. Jeez, I'm just going to character by character. Why is. Oh, Cycle Strike. Violent. I
Why?
don't know.
Why is it violent?
I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, all you have to do is look at the name and go, yeah,
Cycle
Psycho Strike,
Strike,
that's
you know?
probably going to be violent. I mean, I wouldn't, look at the name. I wouldn't expect it to be about kittens and rainbows. I mean, I don't know.
Chua? Vikachu? Vikachu, like Pikachu? Is that what you're saying your name is? That's kind of cool. But welcome, regardless that I can pronounce it or not.
I mean, have you been playing anything interesting new, like audio games or mainstream games or anything? I admittedly, there really hasn't been a whole lot. They had that Kickstarter game. I don't know if it's still alive. There's like that. It's like that 2D side scrolling.
I don't know. I can't get into 2D scrolling. I don't know why. It just, to me, it's too ancient, archaic, arcade like, basic, like
Well,
Contra, right?
I mean, here's the thing: is it's weird because I love some 2D side scrolling gameplay, like especially like mainstream games, NES, Super Nintendo.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of those things. I mean, a lot of that stuff still holds up. I mean, I still play a lot of games like that come out on Steam that are like that. People who grew up with that stuff, they make their own 2D side scrollers or things like that.
Mm-hmm.
But what I've noticed is that, and I'm not trying to knock the audio games, but like I noticed just the way that they feel and some of the gameplay
Mm-hmm.
that from some of the audio games, and if you've played like a sighted side scroller or 2D game,
Mm-hmm.
they just feel differently. Like the jumping mechanics, like most audio games will use up for jump.
Mm-hmm.
Most mainstream games don't. They use a separate button for jump.
Mm-hmm.
And even just the mechanics of the way you move, like the way you move left and right, and then you jump as you're running. Whereas like an audio game, you almost hit up and then you hit to the, like, just the fluidity or lack thereof,
Mm-hmm.
um, of how you control it. I don't get into the audio game ones very much
Mm-hmm.
because they just don't feel right to me.
Yeah, there's something off with them because growing up, I grew up on the 2600 Sega Genesis.
Yeah.
And they had all those side scrolling games. Those were fine, but I guess you're right. It's something about the audio versions that are just crap.
Well, I can't really blame them because usually, it's if it's a lot of these audio games are developed by totally blind developers, and if they've never, like, they might conceptually get the idea, but if they haven't played a lot of mainstream games and kind of know how they generally feel or how they're supposed to feel or operate, they kind of do their own, spiel.
Yeah.
And if you're used to, like I said, the way that the vast majority of the mainstream games work, yeah, they just feel really different.
Okay, trying to get to this comment. Looks like they're talking to each other. Blind Toes. Okay, Blind Toes asks, has the accessibility got any better for the Switch?
No, it really hasn't. We've had the zoom feature that came out 2019, I think. But no, they have not done anything, and at least in their current iteration of the Switch, I doubt that's really going to change. Actually, I think they have added some button remapping stuff. So, like, if you have a motor impairment or something, and you want to be able to switch some of those things around, you can do that. That was a good thing to add. But as far as blind accessibility, no. No, there really hasn't been anything.
Oh, hey, Eric Sting, welcome back. It's been a while. He introduced me really cool, not first person, but a fighting Star Wars game with lightsabers and stuff. So that was really cool.
Was that the? I know there was one on the PlayStation that was really bad.
Oh no, this isn't. This is specifically an audio game. It's called like Clash of the Sabers or something.
Oh, okay. I was thinking of remember the what was it called, Masters of Terrascasi or something. Oh, that game was awful.
That was bad.
That was really bad. I mean, the idea of a Star Wars like lightsaber fighting game sounds awesome.
That's pretty cool. They can get really hard really quick. It's just a simple execute. Actually, I got permission to put it on my website for people to download, so you can download it.
I might have to grab that. Yeah, let me know when you got it up there.
Shattered Dimensions, Minecraft. So Melissa played Spider-Man Dimensions and Minecraft, but she would have to get really close to the screen because of her vision, obviously.
Yeah, and Minecraft Dungeons, actually. It's a spin-off game that Microsoft and Mojang have done. It's kind of like a Diablo Light, if you're familiar with the kind of isometric dungeon crawlers. Again, like I said, they're close. They're really close. Like it's hard if you have no usable vision. Like you can't really get around the worlds easily.
Yeah.
But they have text to speech in all the UI, and you can, equip your character and stuff like that. But they have a couple of really cool in-game text to speech features too, where like when you shoot your bow and arrow, every time you take a shot, it'll tell you, it'll automatically tell you how many shots you have remaining. If you walk over like a pickup, like if this enemy drops some loot, maybe some health item or a weapon, when you walk over it, it'll tell you what it is, and then you can choose whether you want to pick it up or not. So that's really cool. So if they could just get the navigational part down, that game could be blind accessible. And I know there's a few people, I got to watch some of his videos. But I know Brandon Cole and I think a couple other people, they were playing Hades, and I know Brandon himself, he's beat it, and he's totally blind. I don't know if he's using OCR for the text in the game, but I guess the audio as you're going through the world, he's learned it enough where he can, just get through it, and he knows, what the sound effects are, and the audio is good enough. And if you can play that game, I mean, I have not beat it yet, but the story in it is actually really, really good. And I'm thinking I got to pick that up sometime again this weekend or this week and try to see if I can finish the story, because it's really good.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
Great voice acting.
Oh, that's right. Fallen Order. Melissa says, I heard that Fallen Order is good for low vision, or has Like large text and contrast options.
I gotta look at that more. I own the game. I played about probably 15 minutes of it when it came out. And I never got back to it because there's a few games that I'm hesitant to play on my current rig.
Mm.
For some reason, there's a few games that just make my fans go completely nuts and they just sound really loud and really bad.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, I kind of want to maybe wait until I get my new rig and hope, because I use this computer too much. I would hate for it to crap out on me before I can get a new one.
Right.
So I do want to get back into. I do really want to play Jedi Fallen Order. Speaking of Star Wars, have you caught up on all the Mandalorian stuff? I finally watched. Somebody convinced me to watch that series this past week.
What do you think?
I thought it was pretty dang good.
Yeah, it's going to wipe out the sequel trilogies easily. Even though they tie in together, it'd be a great way to just kind of like follow the Mandalorian, then the Book of Boba and Ahsoka, and just kind of forget about the sequel trilogy because it was so horrible.
I still haven't even watched Episode 9. I actually own it, but I haven't bothered to watch it yet.
Yeah.
I saw 7 and 8 and was like, yeah, they're okay, but meh. And I think the problem for me right now is I think they're Disney and Lucas, they're milking that series way too much, just like Marvel's doing with their universe. It's like you can't release a movie or a book or something. You can't release things every 2 weeks. I don't care anymore.
No, it's too much.
And that's why I didn't watch The Mandalorian until now, because I'm just like, it's too much.
Yep.
But everyone's like, you got to watch Mandalorian.
It is.
And I finally broke down and did. I'm like, it's really pretty good.
Yeah, it is really good.
It is really good.
And that.
Did you finish season 2?
Huh?
Did you finish season 2?
Oh yeah. No. I was watching Mandalorian, as they come out that Thursday night, Friday morning.
See, I was glad that I waited until they were done because I could just binge them in a day or two.
I wish I would have done that for sure. I've done that now a few times. For sure.
Yep.
But when Luke, the last episode of season 2, it's just like,
wow. Oh yeah, yeah. Wow. I wonder. Yeah, that I was not expecting.
Right. But the audio description of it at the very last part when the two have to separate and Duke takes in the little guy.
Yep.
It was so heart-wrenching. I couldn't believe it. Like, I was like, that's how I felt when I first saw Star Wars.
Yeah, that was a really cool. I almost wish they would have done more with the Dark Troopers though, because those things were cool.
Yeah, I gotta get one of those to add to my collection.
Those were pretty rad. Not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Nah, I'm looking forward to Friday because I'm gonna binge the hell out of Cobra Kai season 3. Yeah.
I don't know why I haven't gotten into that. Everybody says watch Cobra Kai.
Watch Cobra Kai. It's so good. You got 2 days to binge it, man. Do it. So good. Like, I thought it was going to be this bad cash-in for a Karate Kid. Like, we're just going to do this 20 years later, and it's going to be garbage.
That's what I kind of thought.
And like, I watched the first season when it was on YouTube, and I started like the first episode, and I don't think after I started it, I'm like, I don't think I moved from my recliner until I watched that first season. I'm like, oh, this is so good.
So where is it on now?
Good. Netflix.
Oh, God
damn it. Don't have Netflix at the moment.
I don't know. I've always have had a thing against Netflix, and I don't know exactly what it is, but
I've loved it. I've been a Netflix member since like 2000, 2001.
Yeah.
God, wow. Netflix has been around for that long?
Yeah.
God, I'm old.
Remember when they used to send out DVDs?
Oh, yeah. I remember I lived with 2 roommates, and we all had Netflix subscriptions, and it was funny as hell because we had like, there would be days where there would be like 9 DVDs that would just come in the mail. And we'd just be like, we'd all be watching stuff. And then we got this dirt cheap projector so we could watch TV or watch these on like this giant thing on our wall. It was pretty
Nice.
cool. I mean,
Nice.
the apartment was a total ghetto, but hey, we had cool stuff to do.
Oops. Is Streamlabs accessible? Yeah, kinda. If you can get a sighted person to click on the turn on button, then yes, it would be semi-accessible. I've had mine for a while, and then it was a few months ago they made some kind of change to their platform, and now it's not accessible to screen readers. Not even clickables. Nothing.
Now, I don't know if I mean I know there's different flavors of OBS. Now I have
Hmm.
OBS Studio, which is not Streamlabs, right?
Yeah, OBS, the original open broadcasting software studio.
Yeah,
It's
that's
pretty
what
much
I
the original.
use. Yeah, I just use that. I don't even use Streamlabs.
Yeah, Streamlabs is a really cool addition to OBS. So like you can create your own widgets and
Mm,
alerts for people if they subscribe or donate or whatever.
right,
So
right.
it's a
Yeah,
nice little
right
addition.
now, yeah, I do so little streaming that I mean I do it, once, every week or so, but like if I was did that more seriously, more dedicated, I probably would think about it, but like I just do the bare bones.
Yeah, there's also the chat games. So if people ever find you boring, which I know my shows go kind of long when I do the tales, so they at least have
Hmm.
something to do.
Yeah.
Keep your analytics up.
Yeah. And then I've started using that. Have you heard of that? What is it called? TCTS or something? I forget what it's called. It's it's a web page, and it'll automatically read your OBS chat aloud, your Twitch
Oh,
chat if
like a
you do
TTS.
Twitch. Yeah, through TTS.
Okay. No, I'll have to check that out.
I learned about it a few months ago because I always used to just have to check my chat manually,
Mm.
and I don't have to do that anymore. Like if people don't mind, I mean, I just say, hey, you know what? It's part of my stream. This is part of how I do it as a visually impaired user. And when I do
Mm.
streams on Twitch now, yeah, it's called TCTS, and it's literally just you link it to your Twitch account, and you have it generate a password, and then you just put your username in a couple of fields, and then you hit start, and then you just leave that browser window open in the background, and then when you go live,
Mm.
it'll just automatically read any chat input that comes in.
Well, that's cool.
If you have a really busy chat room, it might not be a good idea because then it would just be constantly chattering, and people would probably find that distracting.
Yeah, that's how mine is sometimes.
But
I
for
don't
what?
read all the chat messages, and
Yeah.
people know why. It's just we
Oh yeah,
already have
yeah.
to listen to a screen reader. Plus, we are talking, and then you gotta listen
Right.
to the chat going. It's just like, this is too much.
Yeah. I mean, mine are pretty low attendance, so I can still kind of get away with it, and it
Yeah.
does work really well for me.
Leah says, I want to go to, or Ability Mom of two vlogs. Keep saying that wrong. She wants to go to Canada and visit the last Blockbuster. What's funny about that is my sister brought over the Blockbuster game, and it was fucking hilarious.
Hmm. I thought wasn't there one in like Oregon or something? I thought that was the last one.
Oh, I don't know. I just remember the last time I actually saw one was like in the late '90s, early 2000s, before I lost my sight.
We had one when I first moved in here. We had one for like the first, I don't know, 6 months to a year, and that was
Mm-hmm.
like in 2010. And then I seen it go out of business, so I bought a bunch of DVDs that were on sale. It's like, oh, okay, well, I may as well buy them then.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, unfortunately, right around that same time, there was a game store that closed. There was like our bakery moved. We had this really
Oh wow.
cool, like we have all these strip malls that are right nearby.
Mm.
And I guess like my barber told me that the reason is the landlords kept jacking up the rent,
Oh.
and so it kind of made people move out.
Yeah. That sucks.
Yeah, totally.
OBS, Jesse. Well, I correct if I'm wrong. I mean, OBS is getting more accessible. I noticed the last update was awesome, but OBS
Yeah,
and OBS Studio is the same thing. There's Studio Mode, and then there's OBS.
I don't know. I just downloaded some OBS Studio thing like about a year ago,
Mm-hmm.
year and a half ago, and it's just sort of worked, and so I've stuck with it.
Yeah.
I do some of it with keyboard, but admittedly, some of it I just because it's faster. I just click stuff because it's
Yeah.
faster.
Yep.
So I do use magnification on some of it, but I want to say, yeah, that at least OBS Studio has gotten pretty good. I know a lot of other people use some variant of it too, so I don't know if they're using OBS Studio or Streamlabs.
Yeah. Mm. Cinematic music. I would definitely be interested in checking that out. Eric says, "Hey everybody, I have an announcement. I have a YouTube channel that features cinematic music. I'm guessing he creates it, so
Cool.
you got my email, Eric, so just go ahead and send it to me of your YouTube channel, and I will share it in the description box next time I go live."
It's amazing how it's amazing to me how easy it is to kind of, oh, you want to do some YouTube stuff, or you want to stream, or you want to make a podcast. Like the tools are so low barrier to entry now that like pretty much anybody can do it.
Yeah. Blind Toes posted your channel link in the chat. Thank you, Blind Toes. Plus, it is in the description
yes, thank
box.
you very much.
Jesse. Melissa says, "Jesse, you're not alone. I use magnification with OBS as well."
Yeah, I used to use it with Mixer, but now that they're under, and I started using it with Twitch, and it works really well.
What have you heard about the Periscope going out, and is Twitter actually gonna just absorb it like they did Vine back in the day?
I don't know what's going on with them. Not sure.
Okay, so let's see. Unless you guys have any more questions for Jesse here, we're gonna wrap it up. But don't forget, We'll See for Work is this Friday. Jesse will be back for that. We got a couple new guests. I have no idea what we're gonna talk about yet, but I'll figure out a topic. I mean, for me, this year has been amazingly busy.
You're not kidding. I mean, that's kind of been my thing too, is like, okay, we're in lockdown, but like we have, because in a way it's been kind of good because like so many things have gone virtual.
Yeah, exactly.
That, oh, you don't have to physically go attend this conference or something. Like everything is being held digitally and a lot of times for free. I've attended so many conferences and webinars, and I've learned all sorts of cool stuff this year.
Yeah. I actually got hired this year at a blind center to do remote Apple training. So, and I've been busy ever since.
Oh, that's good. Okay, I remember. Yeah, I remember you. I remember hearing that you had got something like. Was it you where it was like something you got it, but then it fell through or something, or was that somebody else?
No, it wasn't me. I'm trying to remember because we've had on, Danny, Nicole.
I wonder if it was Danny.
Yeah, I don't know. But I
Yeah,
but she's gonna be there tomorrow or not. I'll have to ask.
Oh, is she gonna be on Friday's deal?
I don't know. I'll ask her. We'll
Okay.
have a new one. Actually, she was in the chat earlier. Jeanette, she'll be there.
Okay.
She's got a bunch of degrees as well. Yeah, it should be an interesting topic if I can think of one.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's no
it
problem.
might be a good topic just to talk about. How has employment gone for disabled or blind and low vision during 2020?
Oh, absolutely. I think, yeah, there's quite a bit. I think we could talk about just with the way things are in 2020 and where technology is, and I definitely have some thoughts as far as you know, for the longest time, people not listening to like, oh, people with disabilities, maybe they want to work from home,
Right?
and no, you can't do that. No, you can't. But now that sighted people are allowed to do it, oh, now
Yeah.
it's okay.
Yeah, that'll be a good topic. Leah
Yeah.
says, "Oh yeah, JC, you're right. It is in Oregon, the last blockbuster."
Okay. Yeah, I think I remember seeing some video about that about a year ago.
V, God, what I say? Vika. Hold on. Oh, and Eric asked earlier about screen recognition to play games. I think, and like, I don't know. I don't personally. I don't trust this version of screen recognition just yet because I've noticed a lot of errors.
I've done it a few times. And I've done it in games where like there's been a lot of like text dialogue boxes like for characters speaking.
Mm.
And I've done it with NVDA, and it generally actually it's worked pretty well. The main thing that I always forget to do is, especially if I'm using a PC, controls like keyboard and mouse.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's
Just so you know,
prob-
I was personally thinking of iOS's new screen recognition, so
oh
I
oh
didn't
oh
realize it
right.
about the computers. I didn't even think about it.
Yeah, I've tried it a couple times on iOS, but I haven't really poked at it too much.
Yeah.
But on the PC, like I've done it with NVDA's OCR tool, and it's worked okay.
Hmm.
The main thing that I have to remember, excuse me, is if you're using keyboard and mouse, definitely before you start the game, you probably want to turn off any sort of key or word echo. I usually
Oh,
have word
yeah.
echo on because then you do commands and letters,
Yep.
and then when you hit like space or something, it'll just start blabbing all these letters and stuff at you. So
Yeah.
if you turn that off, it generally works okay. Or if you're using a controller, it works okay, and then you just do the OCR command.
Hmm. Okay.
I've done that a few times, and it's worked
Nice.
fairly well. I mean, I wish there was a way to just trigger it when it sees like the text change, because like every time the screen changes, you have to do OCR again,
Yeah. Yeah.
which is doable. And if it's something you really want to experience or play, you can do it,
Mm-hmm.
but it can be a little tedious.
Yeah. Back to Vika. Thanks for the feedback about live. She. I don't know. Is thinking about doing live streams in the future, so the feedback is greatly appreciated. Yeah. I got a bunch of how-to videos. I'm sure Jesse does as well. Looks like you are friends with Blind Toes and Leah, so
Hmm.
you can always reach out. I have no problem ever. I don't think I've ever denied anybody as far as like helping someone get started or anything like that. So feel free
Yeah,
to reach out.
I don't think I've done any videos on how I stream. I did a video quite a while back on, because I always get asked in the YouTube comments, how do I record videos, or
Mm.
how are you mirroring your iPhone to your computer? I did a video on that, but I
Yeah,
don't
I
think I've
think
done.
the mirror option. I'm pretty sure the mirror option is already there in the control center, right? Or do you have to add it like you do screen record?
Well, no, it's there, but I'm mirroring it to a PC, so I use this software called Reflector.
Oh, okay.
It turns your computer into an AirPlay server,
Oh, nice.
and then you just connect to it like you would like an Apple TV or something.
Cool.
Works well. The cool thing is we can talk about that on Friday. Like working with people doing technology assessments and everything.
Mm-hmm.
It's really cool because like if we're able to meet over Zoom, I
Yeah.
can share my screen, and even if somebody's low vision or blind, I can still then screen share and show them magnification, or share my phone to my computer and show them some of the apps and things and
Right.
how stuff works. So like technology has made being able to work virtually pretty amazingly cool.
Yeah, definitely.
So yeah, I think we'll have fun talking about that on Friday.
Well, Jesse, thanks for coming on again.
Absolutely.
It's been a blast, and we look forward to some more gaming updates, VR, whatever. And then, so yeah, this Friday, everybody, 7. We'll see if it works. 7 p.m. Pacific time, of course. Don't forget to subscribe. Hit that bell thingy mabobber. That way you can get notified when we go live on Friday. So if you want to say any last words, Jesse, feel free, and then we'll get out of here.
Alrighty. Well, like I said, thanks for inviting me to be on the show again. You can follow me on YouTube, youtube.com/illegally cited. And I'm also pretty active on Twitter at BGFH79. And I do some streaming over on Twitch, twitch.tv/illegally cited.
Nice. You were born the same year as I was?
Perhaps.
Interesting. I just put that together. All right, everybody. Thanks again. It's been Theory of a Blind Man. Remember, love's blind. Keep it blind.